How should I start this video? Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've been gone for too long and I do have an excuse, okay? But I hope everyone's doing well. I might be a little like clogged. I don't think that's the right word. I might sound a little like nasally because I am kind of sick. I'm getting over a cold right now. Also, one of the reasons why I just haven't filmed any content. What was that? I actually forgot what I was talking about because there's just so much noise in the back. But let me just continue to explain why I haven't been able to film and post anything for the past 2 weeks. So let me start with the first Friday. I got called in for jury duty. I was summoned for jury duty, so obviously I'm not gonna film anything, and I just didn't have time to film because I was in trial in court for like hours on end, so didn't have any time to film anything. So that Friday I wasn't able to post anything. Or the second Friday that I didn't post, I had planned a like soccer content kind of video because of like in honor of like the World Cup and you know stuff like that. Not even in the honor, I was just like the World Cup is going on right now, so I just felt inspired. I was like, let me go back to like my roots. And for those of you who don't know, I used to play soccer. I've only played 2 years, and I only played at school because I just never really had the opportunity to go to a club or anything. So I never really played outside of school unless it was for fun, like if we were at a park or something like that. I remember it so vividly because it happened during the France and Sweden game. I was listening to the game from my bedroom because I was doing laundry and folding clothes, and so I was blasting it from the living room. And I remember that I was watching on Telemundo. For those of you who don't know what Telemundo is, it's basically a Mexican sports channel, and I don't have the application on my TV in my bedroom to watch Telemundo, so I was just blasting it from the living room. That's where we have the application for the Mexican TV channels and stuff like that. And I don't know if you guys know the sports, or not the sports, but like the spokespeople from Telemundo. They get very like excited over little things and very loud, and I love it because that's why I watch it, because I love the way that they do that. They got really excited, so I thought that they had scored. I basically like heard them like screaming and I got excited. I was like, oh my god, hell yeah, let me go like out there and check it out. And so I sprinted, and like not even 2 steps away from my door, I literally like I misstepped, I stepped wrong. I like twisted my ankle inwards, so then it sprained, and so I have a sprained left ankle right now. It's not my first time spraining my ankle, it's my 7th time spraining my ankle, so obviously it's a reoccurring issue. But the first few times were during soccer, when I used to play soccer, and I just never let it heal right. So I kind of like, it's prone to twisting a lot easier than like my other foot, you know. Yeah, I ended up spraining my ankle, and then I like didn't give a fuck at that moment because I had so much adrenaline. So I like crawled outside to the living room, and I look up at the TV and I noticed that fucking none of them scored. So I literally just sprained my ankle for no reason over a soccer game that I was watching. I didn't even sprain my ankle playing soccer. I sprained my ankle watching soccer. So I don't know, all jokes aside, I low-key fucked that one up real bad. That was on me. I don't know why I got so excited, but it's just for the love of the game. I love soccer or football. I use those two words interchangeably, so if you're like a little annoyed that I use soccer over football, that's just what it is. But anyways, I just love the game so much that I literally sprained my ankle trying to go watch the game. And so I couldn't film any content, soccer related content for last Friday because of that incident. Yeah, I don't know, it's just I like fucked myself over for that week, and it is what it is. But anyways, that was all I wanted to say about like me not being able to post. My ankle's a little bit better now. I think it's been like 5 or 6 days, maybe 7, and I think it's like healing pretty well. But there's still that kind of like, whenever I try to like walk on it for like if I'm walking on it for a little too long, it starts to kind of hurt. So I just gotta be careful with that. But besides that, I think it's healing pretty well. I mean, like I said, it's the 7th time getting it sprained, so I'm kind of used to like what it feels like right now, and I'm pretty like, I didn't complain. I kind of just like laughed it off because I was like, there's no way I actually just sprained my ankle. Like, it's just stupid. But it is what happened. So I'm looking at it right now trying to see if it's like, it's not purple. The first few times it turned like really purple, and this sprain was pretty bad, but it didn't turn purple. It didn't bruise up. It didn't like get too big to where I couldn't like walk, because I've sprained it for so many times that I think it's just like given up at this point, where like doesn't need to do all that dramatic thing anymore. Yeah, that was that. I'm gonna be talking in Spanish a little bit in this video too, because I do want to talk about the England versus Mexico game, which happened yesterday, and I am a bit, you know, sad about it. I really am, obviously, as a Mexican and also as a fan of Mexico and La Liga Mexicana. It hurts. I'm gonna talk in Spanish because I feel like I can express myself a little bit better in Spanish when it comes to this, and also hopefully reach a different audience that might be feeling the same way after that game. Pero la neta, de verdad que sí me quebró mucho, o sea, mi alma, todo mi corazón y mi amor, la verdad que me ilusioné, o sea, no, pues la verdad que pues me emocioné, me ilusioné y obviamente como mexicana vas a apoyar a tu equipo. Las raíces que yo tengo son de México, aunque, o sea, viva acá en los Estados Unidos, la verdad, México es mi número uno, ahí están mis raíces, mi familia es de ahí, todavía tengo familia en México, mi primer idioma fue el español, o sea, pues sí dolió mucho perder, pero le dimos una batalla muy buena a Inglaterra. Así son las cosas a veces, y a veces no puedes ganar, aunque trates todo, no puedes, y eso es lo que me gusta de México, que aunque perdimos, la verdad, pues todavía celebramos, o sea, lloramos. Le tuve que poner llamada de video a mi hermana porque no puede parar de llorar, pero ajá, y luego también, no manches, desperté esta mañana y estaba bien, o sea, lloré todo lo que necesitaba llorar ayer, y desperté esta mañana, me metí en mi teléfono y lo primero que vi fueron los edits de la selección mexicana, y lloré un poquito, ¿no? Como que sí, todavía me duele, güey. Pensé que ya terminé todo de llorar, no, todavía me faltaba, y pues lloré en la mañana un poquito también, porque pues, o sea, no nada más es porque apoyo a México y amo a México con todo mi corazón, pero también es porque pues yo amo el fútbol, o sea, yo crecí con el fútbol, vi a mi mamá jugando fútbol, creciendo, ella también cuando en sus tiempos, cuando estaba creciendo, ella jugaba fútbol y era muy buena. Toda mi familia también le encanta el fútbol, entonces la verdad todo es, o sea, yo crecí amando el deporte con toda mi alma, entonces por eso duele mucho. O sea, es un deporte, tiene que haber un perdedor y un ganador, y el perdedor tuvo que ser México ese día, y pues en otro universo, en otra vida, ojalá que México gane una copa del mundial, y que yo pueda verlo y vivirlo con ellos, porque con ellos en persona, no se crean, pero ojalá que yo lo pueda ver también y que esté viva para eso. Y ay, estoy hablando como si tengo 100 años, güey, no, estoy bien, o sea. Pero el amor que le tengo a fútbol, y pues también a mi país mexicano, la comunidad mexicana, con mucho orgullo, aunque dolió mucho la derrota. De verdad que tengo mucho orgullo porque llegaron hasta donde llegaron, y la neta sentí muy bonito, o sea, la esperanza de poder llegar hasta el final y ganarlo, especialmente cuando todo lo que está pasando acá en los Estados Unidos con latinos y con México, en los mexicanos, la verdad, fue muy bonito sentir bien, sentir bonito, y como les digo, ojalá en otro, tal vez el 2030, eso pase, que lleguemos hasta el final y que lo ganemos, pero pues eso, vamos a ver, porque la verdad me dio mucha esperanza también este equipo, que es muy bueno, o sea, unos jugadores, hablando del juego, hay unas cosas que no me gustaron con los coaches que estaban haciendo, no sé, la verdad, hay unas cosas que la verdad no me gustaron, pero pues nosotros no tenemos la decisión es de ellos, y pues tomaron la decisión, y cosas pasan con esas decisiones, así que sí, tengo mucha esperanza para este equipo, de verdad. Se vio como que tienen muchas ganas o sea, hasta el último minuto se vio que tuvieron todas las ganas para ganar ese juego, ese partido, pero Inglaterra tuvo una defensa muy fuerte, y pues no pudieron quebrar la defensa de Inglaterra, y pues no se pudieron meter, no podían hacer nada, trataban, y eso es lo que a mí me encantó, que no se dieron por vencidos, que continuaron con lo que podían y trataban de meterse ahí, pero al final no pudieron, y pues está bien. Voy a empezar a llorar otra vez, güey, no, está bien, pero la verdad es que sí, mucha esperanza para este equipo, y pues ojalá también se pueda realizar ese sueño. Ay, estoy hablando como si yo estuviera en el equipo, güey. La verdad no los conozco. muy bien porque pues también son jugadores muy nuevos. Yo crecí viendo el fútbol con Ochoa y ¿con quién más, güey? Oh, con Chicharito, con el papá de Mateo Chávez, se me olvidó su nombre, la verdad, perdón. Con Dos Santos también crecí viendo el fútbol con él. Antes de esta selección, este equipo de México, paré de ver fútbol por unos 2 o 3 años porque la verdad estaba cansada de mucha decepción, de perder constantemente. Como una fan también te quebra un poquito pues por el deporte y también porque amas a México, pero esta selección me hizo encontrar el amor que tenía para fútbol otra vez y eso es lo que también me gustó de este equipo y de esta selección mexicana, que pudo, o sea, aprender esa pasión que tengo para fútbol y el amor que tengo para el fútbol otra vez. Y pues güey, ni pude comprar mi playera. Me acuerdo que tenía una cuando estaba chiquita, pero no sé dónde se quedó. Voy a hablar en inglés. I will give their flowers to England. Obviously they won. Congrats to England and all their fans. You guys won. And respect and all, I'm gonna give flowers to, I think, all of the fucking players. Obviously you guys did good, but I think there's a player in that team that actually stood out to me a lot more. I kept my eye on him throughout the whole match because he was causing an issue for the Mexican team. Obviously, like, the obvious ones are like Bellingham, but the one player that I think caused a lot of ruckus for the Mexican team, I think, was Anthony Gordon. I think that's his name. Anthony Gordon did a really good job at running to the ball and getting to, you know, the ball faster than the Mexican team or the Mexican players. That motherfucker was really fast. I'm gonna give him his flowers. He was really good. He won every race to the ball. He also was really doing good in blocking plays for Mexico. He was blocking in the center, like in the middle, as well as like on the outsides for the Mexican wingers and the forwards. So he did a really good job. So I do want to like point him out because I feel like he's like an underrated MVP. I think he did pull his weight in the team a lot. Yeah, he was a player that I kept my eye on throughout the whole game because of how much trouble he was causing Mexico and that side of the field. I appreciate as someone who loves the sport as well, I appreciate a good player. He caused an issue for Mexico, and I like to learn about new players as well during these World Cups, and he was definitely a player that kind of like piqued my interest because of how good he was playing that game. So it's just, it is what it is. Sometimes a good story comes to an end, and unfortunately that was for Mexico. Like I said, you gotta give people their flowers, and they did really good. They figured it out, and that's all I'm gonna say. And also, like, I'm tired of going on TikTok and seeing a bunch of edits. No, like with all these like Mexican songs, they've never hit so much harder in my life. I'm not even kidding. All these like Spanish songs, it's just a bunch of songs are just hitting right here, and I'm just like, bro, I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of looking at these TikToks and being so like what if? But you know, at the end of the day, like I said, shit happens. There's decisions that are made on the field that sometimes lead to a loss. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. Be proud of what you saw on that field, because I am completely proud of what I saw on that field. Mexico didn't give up, not one bit, and that's something that brought back my love for football. And so gracias a la selección mexicana por darnos mucha esperanza y mucho orgullo, y pues hasta la próxima, ¿no? Y la mera neta, yo ya no quiero ver nada más, no quiero saber nada de fútbol hasta el fin del año. O sea, todo lo de fútbol, la verdad, que se vaya a la verga. Yo no quiero saber nada de eso. No se crean, todavía aquí estoy apoyando a Colombia, que también es ¿cómo se dice? Un país latinoamericano que todavía está siguiendo en el mundial, así que sí que apoyemos bueno, yo apoyo a Colombia. Lo que también duele es que Brasil salió el mismo día que México también, güey, en la mañana, o no en la mañana no, pero como al mediodía, 2 países latinoamericanos salieron. O sea, eso también me quebró el corazón. Y pues no hay nada más que seguirle, güey. Y también pues con los jugadores que se van a retirar, Memo Ochoa, Neymar también, pues ya pasó. Y pues fue una buena corrida, güey, de todos esos mexicanos. No todos esos mexicanos, de todos los futbolistas que jugaron. Tuvieron una buena carrera. Y pues a ver qué más pasa. Pero Sí, yo tengo mucho orgullo de ser mexicana y tener las raíces mexicanas y le pido al universo que de verdad que en todas las vidas después de esta que siga siendo mexicana porque de verdad a mí me gusta México mucho, o sea, amo a mi país mexicano, a mi gente, mi comunidad mexicana. También como una mexicana americana, acá tenemos mucho amor para los mexicanos y a México y pues nuestras raíces, así que con todas las vidas después de esta que siga siendo mexicana porque siempre voy a ser orgullosa de ser mexicana, nunca voy a esconder eso. También para todos los mexicanos y también si me están viendo, no sé. Pero sí, mucho amor, mucho cariño. Nunca he estado más orgullosa de un país como México. O sea, México es un país donde siempre voy a sentirme conectada con todos y con la cultura. Fue bueno y pues me hizo recordar cosas bonitas. Entonces, como les digo, para la próxima a ver si pasa. Pero I ask of the universe that every life after this one, I'm Mexican and I'm born Mexican, because I just truly love being Mexican, my culture, my roots in Mexico, my family. Like, I just love it. I love this culture and I would never trade it for anything else. And I stand 10 toes down on that for sure. I'm not gonna lie. There's just certain things that I didn't agree with that the coaches in the Mexico team did. But you know what? We didn't have the final decision. So at the end of the day, they took the decision. And unfortunately, it might have cost us a couple of things. Maybe it might have cost us the game, you know? But it is what it is. I feel like there was people in the Mexican team that should have been given a chance to play, and it's just unfortunate that it had to end this way and they didn't really get a chance and an opportunity to show their talent in the bigger stage. So that's my analysis. It was a very tense game for sure. Honestly, this makes me feel better. Just talking about it makes me feel better. Also, let me know if you enjoy more videos of me speaking Spanish because I feel like doing this kind of like gets my practice in of speaking Spanish. Kind of nice. But besides that, I don't want to sound like a bitch, but I'm like low-key rooting for Norway because one, I love Holland. I feel like he's such a playful type of character. You usually never see a lot of soccer players that are playful on the pitch and outside the pitch, so I really enjoy that, like fresh air that he brings. And he's just super funny, and obviously he's also a fucking beast. If you ever like think he's not scary, I think you're crazy. He's probably one of the most terrifying players ever. He's also so fun and childish, and I think that that's an amazing quality to have in a sport that can sometimes get too serious. Yeah, I enjoy Erling. Erling is super funny to watch, and all these TikToks too, Loki, are so funny. Like all these Snapchat like questions that he answers are funny as fuck. All these like stickers on the TikTok like comments are so funny to watch, to like just go through and scroll. I'm thinking about like the Tom and Jerry one, but that shit is so funny to me. So I absolutely fucking adore it. And I like stuff like this in soccer where people are just like silly, and that's nice because this sport can be so serious, like I said. So it's nice to have like people in soccer that are in, you know, like that can be fun, can be serious when they have to, but are also really fun on and off pitch. So that's what I enjoy watching us as a soccer enthusiast as well. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to talk about, so I'll see you guys hopefully next Friday with maybe this can be a mini series that I do where I just come here and talk about stuff, because I always have a lot of stuff to talk about, but sometimes I just don't it's not that I don't want to, I just feel like sometimes some of the stuff that I might talk about is a little too intense. But honestly, sometimes you gotta talk about certain things to bring them to light. And I also have a lot of fun stories to talk about as well, just like story times of like me growing up as a kid, because I did grow up in Mexico for a little bit, so I have some stories of Mexico and like all like las travesuras que hacía. So hopefully that might be the next episode to this mini series, but for now, hope you guys enjoyed. This is all I have for today. Hopefully I see you guys next Friday. Oh, and the women's leagues are starting in Mexico, I think, so hopefully that is also something that, you know, obviously because it's not as big as men's sports, are not given spotlight as much, but the women are they're gonna be playing soon. So if you like watching soccer, keep an eye out for the women's leagues as well, because I've been seeing a lot of improvement from both the US women's team and the Mexico women's team, honestly. So we'll see what happens with that. With that being said, like I said, I'll see you next Friday, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So bye bye.